So it's really no secret that Marathon is struggling to be the breakout hit that I think Sony and Bungie kind of expected it to be, with the Bungie pedigree behind it and the success of Destiny 1 and 2, and say nothing of all the Halo fanboys out there. You'd think that Marathon entering the extraction shooter market would have a leg up. However, that hasn't been the case, as Marathon struggle to get to a concurrent player mark that rivals the likes of Arc Raiders. Though, of course, Arc Raiders has had its own problems in recent days. But Paul Tassi, who, of course, is like the Bungie guy on the internet, he covers every single thing to happen with, Marathon, Destiny, anything like that. He's put out an article today titled, As Marathon Goes on Sale, It's Free to Play, Switch in the Cards. So, Paul writes, Bungie's Marathon continues to be an industry hot topic, the first new IP from the studio after over a decade of Destiny, a Sony live service offering in an age when that has been a death sentence. Marathon is not PlayStation's next Concord, as it's been previously accused of, and is in no danger of an immediate shutdown. But it has been rapidly losing players week over week, and simply put, that has to end, or at least stabilize. Forget competing with Arc Raiders, it's now putting up numbers that are close to on par with the finals. Pretty soon there will have to be a switch to pursue more casual players. That's actually already begun with an even playing field sponsored kit mode and a new event that incentivizes players to show mercy to each other for bonus gear. This has resulted in more trolling than friendship, it seems, but will more drastic measures be needed? Marathon has just gone on sale on Xbox, a platform that it has performed terribly on, where it's down from $40 to $32 or 20% off. When a game starts losing players and keeps losing players, a frequent question arises, should it switch to free-to-play? The obvious idea here is that such a switch, eliminating that $40 barrier to entry, would draw in more players who have otherwise been reluctant to give it a shot. It would not be the first game to try this, nor the last. No, I vote no. And I'm betting Sony and Bungie are saying no as well. Why? A few reasons. One, it essentially already did this. The free Server Slam event was a trial run for the game just a few days before it officially released at full price. It perhaps not unexpectedly lost a lot of free trial players compared to its final sales, but now a month and a half in, it doesn't feel like much would have changed here just because 2 more maps and some balance patches have arrived. 2. New players trying out the game would be miles from the new content. It would take a fairly significant amount of time to build up to Outpost and Cryo, very unique but intense, difficult maps for an already difficult genre, so the test for free players would largely be what we already saw, messing around perimeter to see if it sticks. 3. Almost all other extraction shooters are priced at around this level. Free-to-play may make Marathon able to draw in extra players, but games are not free because they need to make money. Marathon has not exactly wowed all that many people with its early battle pass, which it has to actually patch more rewards into. A drip feed microtransaction and those 2 things would be the only way to support it. Plus, if this switch happened anytime soon, that would annoy players who were interested enough to shell out and would have to see some sort of bonus compensation as a result. 4. Cheaters. Make a game free, open it up for way more potential cheaters, and they're more harmful than most in a lose-everything extraction game. This seems like a whiteboard idea, but one that would not move the needle much in practice. I think Marathon is better off continuing to iterate on the existing game with ideals like the free kit mode, but maybe even more past that, maybe even moving a bit away from the pure extraction with more out there ideas. The caveat here is that I think there's another game that could serve as a model for potential Marathon recovery. Rainbow Six Siege, which is on the brink of collapse closer to launch, but made huge overhauls to the game, including going free to play. Now it remains a hit to this day. It's all very complicated, but it's hard to see free to play as the answer, at least not without enormous changes coming with it. So I think those are some very good points by Paul. The biggest one to me would be pissing off the existing fan base. And how would you make it up to them? And would that be worth it to give players like who already paid perhaps a leg up? be it gears or however else, maybe you can have a certain amount of times that you die and your stuff doesn't disappear, something like that. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they would do. There's really not a great answer there. I also think that going free to play would result in a huge surge of players, but I don't think that it would be enough people staying on. I think maybe finding a sweet spot of, 30, maybe even 50% off the initial price. Still have to give rewards to people who initially supported it, but I think that could be a potential way for players to get back into the game and get those player counts up. One thing that no matter what, no matter how good Bungie is, no matter how many moves they make, is working against a marathon is the fact that outside of arc raiders, I just don't think extraction shooters have ever been something that appeals to the mainstream. I think that maybe Marathon can pull something similar to Fortnite, right? Fortnite came out, and maybe you watching this, you're too young to remember, but when Fortnite did come out, it was just a base building zombie shooting game, and that was it. People didn't really like it that much. I remember being kind of excited for it because it was by Epic, the guys who make Gears of War, which I absolutely loved. But when I saw it come out, I was like, probably not for me. And there was a game called PUBG out at the time that was really, really popular. It was, of course, a battle royale game. Fortnite was like, fuck it. We're copying PUBG. We're making our own free battle royale. A lot of people went to Fortnite. Fortnite became the biggest game of all time. And while it's certainly fading in relevance, it was huge, huge for the time. I don't know if we'll ever find a bigger, more popular game in this era. So that could be something that Marathon does, adding new things, PvP, in the form of like what they're good at, right? I mean, Bungie made their bones on the multiplayer Halo. Maybe they can, morph Marathon into a new version of Halo. I don't know. We'll see. I think Destiny Hat was the Crucible, similar thing, and I thought it was actually pretty good. And I'm sure a lot of people spent a lot of time playing it. So we'll see if Marathon can rebound or if that this will be just like the slow demise of Marathon. What do you think? Have you been playing Marathon? If you're on Xbox, are you going to take it up on the 20% off sale, or are you waiting for something more substantial? I'm very interested to hear. I think for me, I am waiting for a little bit more of a substantial drop, or at least a sale on the PC. I don't think I'm going to buy it on Xbox. But we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out all the time. If you're watching this on We Eat Everything, check out our Those Fake Nerds channel where we cover all kinds of video game stories over there. If you're watching it on Those Fake Nerds, check out the main channel where We Eat Everything, where we cover video games in the form of video essays and video game reviews. Check out our sports channel, Wicked Sports, where we cover sports news, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio. Again, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I'll see you in the next one.